Hi everyone and welcome or welcome back. It's been a little while since I've been on here, but I'm back and ready to start making videos again. If you're new here, my name is Graham and I run the Surrey Supernatural Facebook group. Today we're heading back out across the county to look at 3 more strange and spooky stories from Surrey. So turn the lights down, get comfortable and let's begin. We're starting in Guildford, where one building was once regarded as one of the town's most haunted locations. This was the former AA headquarters, officially known as Farnham House. The building was a fine brick structure with distinctive clock tower, and for many years it stood on the London Road. But according to local ghost stories, the building had another resident who wasn't quite so easy to explain. The ghost was said to be that of a cleaning lady who had died sometime in the mid-20th century. After office hours, she was reportedly seen wandering through the building, apparently carrying on with her work, just as she had done during her lifetime. Night staff reported a variety of strange occurrences. Toilets were flushed when nobody was using them, taps were said to turn themselves on and off, and other unexplained plumbing noises were heard throughout the building. And there were also reports of ashtrays being emptied, bins being moved, and on the 3rd floor the unmistakable sound of a broom sweeping across a hard floor. Occasionally a woman's voice was reportedly heard coming from empty rooms or echoing along deserted corridors. Those who claimed to have seen the apparition described her as walking very slowly and wearing a purple and white wraparound cleaning overall, very much in keeping with the type of uniform worn by cleaners during the period. And perhaps the strangest thing about the story is that the ghost seemed to have a job to do. She wasn't apparently interested in frightening anyone, she simply seemed to carry on cleaning. Eventually, the old Farnham House building was demolished and a new building was constructed on the site. Interestingly, reports of the ghost appear to have stopped within the demolition of the old building. Perhaps whoever was haunting Farnham House was tied to the building itself, or perhaps new occupants simply weren't very good at listening. Next, we leave Guildford and head to the quiet village of Bramley. Bramley might seem like an unlikely place for ghost stories, but there are actually a couple of strange tales associated with the village and the surrounding countryside. One story concerns a shop in a high street where the ghost of a young girl was reportedly seen. The apparition was said to appear around the formal doorway of the shop, although there has been no reports of sightings for quite some time. But if you think that's the only strange story around Bramley, we need to head into the woods. Not far from the village is Chinhurst Hill, where a rather unusual ghostly figure has possibly been seen. Witnesses describe seeing an elderly woman wearing a shawl leading a horse out of the woods and onto Chinhurst Lane. And then comes the strange part. The woman and a horse simply disappear. There have been many suggestions that the woman may have been a traveller who once passed through the area, but there doesn't seem to appear to be any solid historical evidence confirming her identity. So who was she? Was she a real person whose story has been forgotten, a trick of the light? Or could something from Bramley's past still be making the occasional journey out of those woods? Whatever the explanation, an old woman leading a horse out of a dark Surrey wood before vanishing into thin air is certainly the sort of sighting that would make me take the next road home. Our final stop takes us to Thames Ditton on the outskirts of London. Here we find the former House of Compassion, a building with a long history and, according to local reports, its own resident ghost. The apparition is known as the Lady in White. She has reportedly been seen wandering through the building, appearing as a woman dressed in a white gown. One particular interesting part of the story concerns a photo taken by a local businessman. At first, he apparently noticed nothing unusual when the photographs were developed, but when he looked at them more closely, one photo appeared to show a semi-transparent female figure. The identity of the woman has sometimes been linked to Lady Pamela Fitzgerald, also known as La Belle Pamela, a woman who had certainly had a remarkable life. Her father was the Duke of Orleans, who was executed during the French Revolution. Pamela later married Lord Edward Fitzgerald, who was killed during the Irish Rebellion of 1798. She travelled throughout Europe before eventually settling in Thames Ditton, where she died in 1831. Her story is certainly fascinating enough without adding a ghost to it. However, there is an important detail here. The reported lady in white at the House of Compassion has also been suggested to be one of the nuns who once worked there, and it doesn't appear to be firm evidence proving that the apparition was Pamela Fitzgerald. So, with so many ghost stories, we're left with a mixture of history, eyewitness accounts, and local folklore. And perhaps that's uncertainty is what makes these stories so interesting. 3 different places, 3 very different hauntings. A cleaner who apparently refused to retire, an elderly traveller who disappears with a horse, and a mysterious lady in white wandering a halls of an old building. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Surrey certainly has no shortage of stories that make you wonder what might still be lurking just beyond the edge of what we can explain. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed these spooky stories from Surrey, please like, share and subscribe. And if you have any ghost stories or strange experiences of your own, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Until next time, stay spooky.